All right, we'll call the City Council meeting to order. Everybody please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, take the roll.
O'Connor.
Here.
Morissette.
Here.
Alms.
Here.
DeZiel.
Here.
Weber.
Here.
Hall.
Here.
We have a number of recognitions that we're going to do up front here tonight. And we start with our retiring police officer, Ed Rankin. And you're going to be up here for a couple, Ed. The City of Hudson extends its grateful appreciation to Ed Rankin for his 36 years of exemplary and loyal service to the Hudson Police Department and to the City of Hudson. The city is thankful for the professionalism, integrity, and commitment that Ed Rankin provided to the citizens of Hudson during his years as a police officer, from July 1982 to April 2018. Given under my hand and seal of the city this 7th day of May 2018, signed by me. Ed, thank you so much for your service here for Hudson, and congratulations on your retirement. Well deserved. Guys coming up? There you go.
Ed, on behalf of the Hudson Police and Fire Commission, we wish to extend a grateful appreciation to Ed Rankin for serving the Hudson Police Department and the City of Hudson from July 1982 to April 2018. Your many years of professional service to the City of Hudson residents is a testament to your commitment to the safety and well-being of our citizens and to everyone who visits our city. On behalf of the Commission, I wish to present this to you. Best of luck, and I'm sure you're going to play golf in the entire North Continent, right?
I'm going to try.
Did you want to say anything?
No, I'm good.
Once again, thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah. Thank all of you guys.
Thank you. Thanks for your service.
And we have some swearings in to do tonight. Our new chief, Jeff, come on up.
I'm so pleased and proud to be here and be able to swear in my very first police chief. I've had a lot of swearing in for officers, but this is the first time I've been here for a chief, and I'm so glad it's you. So,
thank you.
Now let's do our official duty. I'm going to raise your right hand. I, Jeff Willems,
I, Jeff Willems,
having been appointed as police chief
having been appointed as police chief
for the City of Hudson Police Department,
for the City of Hudson Police Department,
affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully
and will faithfully
and impartially
discharge
the duties of said office
to
to the best of my ability.
the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
She doesn't get in, it doesn't count.
He's really getting everywhere. Thank you. And then we have Officer Pearson, who's now going to be Sergeant Pearson. You can, certainly.
So Sergeant Pearson has been a police officer for 20 years. He did most of his career, about 15 years, over in Minnesota. Came over to us about 5 years ago, started on patrol, was then assigned to investigations, and now is being promoted to sergeant here with almost 20 years on the job. So that's who we're looking at here.
I, Todd Pearson,
Having been appointed as sergeant
having been appointed as sergeant
for the City of Hudson Police Department,
for the City of Hudson Police Department,
affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully
and impartially
discharge the duties of said office
discharge the duties of said office
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my abilities,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I lied, everybody. I do want to say something. I really just want to thank the city and the council members and the guys that are here tonight, the department that I got to work for. I did not grow up in Hudson, but Hudson became and will forevermore be my hometown. This will be where my family is. It's where I raised my family. It was an incredible police department, and I just want to say thanks to the citizens, because you guys really make our jobs easy. You really do, and we love the support. We love the support of this council. They gave us 2 positions this year, a sergeant and a patrol officer, and we hope we continue to grow in the future, because the city's not going to stop growing. So, again, thanks to the council, thanks to the city, and you'll see me around. I'm not going anywhere. So.
So those were the fun events, and now we get to the more difficult one tonight. Sarah, would you come up, please? Obviously, we have a very noticeable absence. It's going to be felt on this council for some time to come, and in the city for some time to come. John was a great guy. He did a great service to our city, and he was one of the more level-headed people that we have on the council. And as I've said of John before, he was not an ideologue, he was a critical thinker, and he really did a great service to our community, and he is very missed on this council and in the city. Sarah, whereas the entire Hudson community was deeply saddened at the sudden and unexpected passing of Alderperson John Hoggett, and whereas John unselfishly provided 7 years of thoughtful and dedicated service to the residents of the 5th District and to all the City of Hudson residents serving as alderperson, and whereas John always kept the best interests of Hudson at heart, showed the utmost respect for his fellow council members and all city residents, and was a strong supporter of city staff in their efforts to make Hudson a great place to live and work, and whereas John and his beloved wife, Sarah, were the proud owners of a very successful Hudson business, Arch Ovations, I apologize, Arch Ovations, Inc. And whereas John's love of the outdoors and his commitment to the environment was evident in him being a champion for preserving his treasured St. Croix River and his role as the first chair of the Hudson Urban Forestry Board, and whereas John's devotion as a loving and caring husband, father, grandfather, son, brother, and friend was a role that was the most important to him throughout his life. Now, therefore, the Mayor and Common Council, the city staff, and the residents of Hudson respectfully pay tribute to the community service, the life, and the memory of John Hoggett, and ask that the citizens of Hudson honor John's legacy by coming together and continuing to make Hudson a better place for all. Given under my hand and seal this day, 7th day of May, 2018.
John loved the service that he provided on this council, and I loved the man it made him become. The work he did for the city of Hudson really brought out his true nature and helped him to shine as a human being. And I want to say to anyone out there who is listening either on TV or here that if ever you think that you're not good enough, not smart enough, not connected enough, not enough, just push through that courage door and go do something and contribute your talents, and you will find your way. And you will be able to make a difference, just the same way John did. When he found his, when he went through that first courage door, it changed him and it made him a better man, better husband, a better business owner, a better everything. So his lesson to you would be to encourage anyone who is not feeling courage and not feeling worthy to step into that and live a beautiful life. Paul.
All right, move on to the next item. Public hearing on a zoning map amendment from R1 family residential to B2 general business at 690 Darnell Drive, Hudson GNG LLC. All right, this is a public hearing. Is there anyone here that would like to comment on this agenda item? Anyone here to speak on this item? Anyone here to speak on this item? Close this portion. I need a motion to...
Move to close.
Second. Motion is second to close the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Discussion and possible action to approve ordinance 11-18, amending the zoning map from R1, one family residential, to B2, general business at 690 Darnell Drive, Hudson, GNG LLC.
This rezoning change, the property was annexed, about 4 or 5 years ago, and when it came in as R1. Our future land use plan designates it as general business, and this would be consistent with that approach. That'll be for the next item as well.
Move to suspend?
Yeah, if that's what you want, if you want to adopt the ordinance, yeah. Okay. Second?
Motion is second to suspend. Roll call.
Morset.
Yes.
Holmes.
Yes.
DeZiel.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Hall.
Yes.
Move to approve,
Motion's approved.
sorry.
Rules are suspended.
Move to approve ordinance 11-18.
Second.
A motion second to approve. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Public hearing on a zoning map amendment from R1, one family residential, to B2, general business at 685 Darnell Drive, 674 Darnell Drive, and the St. Croix tax parcel 236-2038-00-040, Outlot 2, SSHD Inc. Is there anyone here that would like to speak on this agenda item? Anyone here to speak on this item? Anyone here to speak on this item?
Move to close.
Second.
Got a motion second to close the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Public hearing is closed. Discussion and possible action to approve ordinance 12-18, amending the zoning map from R1, one family residential, to B2, general business at 685 Darnell Drive, 674 Darnell Drive, and St. Croix tax parcel 236-2038-00-040, Outlot 2, SSHD Inc.
It's just the remaining property out there in that
Yep.
same CSM.
Any history, Mike, on why it was annexed in as one family residential?
That was our default when we annexed it in, yep, and then they just never consummated the final change to the commercial district.
Understood. I'll move to suspend the rules.
Second?
Got a motion second to suspend. Roll call.
Morset.
Yes.
Holmes.
Yes.
DeZiel.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Hall.
Yes.
Motion's approved. Rules are suspended.
Move to adopt ordinance 12-18.
Second. Got a motion second to adopt, approve. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Public hearing on, excuse me, on zoning map amendment from PUB Public to R2, two-family residential and comprehensive plan land use designation amendment from public to single and two-family residential at 815 Fifth Street, City of Hudson. Anybody here like to comment? Please step forward, state your name, address. Over here at the mic, please.
Hi, my name's Alice Urban. I live across the street from the water utility at 506 Orange Street. So I got the letter about the public hearing, and I wondered why it was going to be rezoned to two-family, not one family. That's what I thought it said. Is that what it said? Oh, right. And then I assume it's going for sale?
Mike, do you want
This
to?
is a public hearing right now, and so you can ask your questions, and then the
Oh, okay.
Community Development Director will try to answer them during the deliberation portion.
Okay, yeah, that was my main question. And then you had a question?
Okay, thank you. Again, if you have a question, step forward or comment.
Just, I mean, I guess overall concern being a two-family versus a one-family doesn't seem, and my mom actually lives.
You want to
To
step
be
up
at
and,
the-
again, give your name and address, please?
Yep.
Leah Holton, and I'm at, what is my address, 506? Yes, just moved here. 506 Orange Street, and my mother lives next door to that property, and she currently is using the, they've always allowed her to use that driveway. She's elderly. Anyway, I just don't know how the property's going to be split up, if there's the opportunity even to purchase some of it so she could keep her driveway. I don't know. Anyhow, so those are some of the concerns we have.
Okay. Thank you. Any other comments? Any other comments? Any other comments? Hearing none.
Move to close the hearing.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to close the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Discussion and possible action to approve ordinance 13-18, amending the zoning map from PUB public to R2, two-family residential and comprehensive plan use designation from public to single and two-family residential at 815 Fifth Street, City of Hudson.
Just to address some of the citizens' comments and concerns, the R2 zoning district was intended to match the existing zoning. The whole block is zoned R2. All the other lots, aside from one that's zoned office at the northern part of the block, so it was intended to just match the rest of the zoning there. And then the intent of the utility department would be to offer that property for sale. Process of which that will occur, I don't know. I've only been handling the zoning piece, so.
Okay, thank you. Discussion? Is there a motion?
Move to suspend the rules.
Second.
We got a motion and a second to suspend the rules. Roll call?
Morissette?
Yes.
Alms?
Yes.
DeZiel?
Yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Hall?
Yes.
Motion's approved, rules are suspended.
Move to adopt ordinance 13-18.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Is this the appropriate time to, we should at least ask them to contact the neighbor concerning the issue that was raised about driveway, and how do we move forward to make that at least accessible? I mean,
We can
the discussion.
we can talk to Kip and the utility department
that.
and just yeah.
Okay. That answer your question, Jim?
It does, thank you.
Further discussion?
Well, I'm just wondering, do you know then who to contact in the water department? Okay. Or utilities?
Yeah. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Comments and suggestions from citizens. This is a portion of the agenda where if you have any comments, thoughts, suggestions, you step to the mic. Please keep it under a couple minutes, if you're a few minutes, if you can. Any citizen comments? Yes, sir. Ah.
Council, thank you. Tim Caruso, 1128 3rd Street. And I wouldn't be here tonight, but I want to talk about the water fountains down in the park. I was with the utility for a number of years, and one thing we wanted to get was water fountains down in the park, because we've got great water, and we wanted to advertise that to the entire community and allow people to let their doggies have water, the little kids have water, adults have water, and we've got great fountains down there. Back in 10, we had, I think there's at least 2 down there right now, and had those installed, and they were approximately, I think they were about $3,000 a piece. They were very expensive, very good looking, and now they're not operating, and I don't know why. I think just not having them turned on, doesn't make us look good. We talk a lot about welcoming and, a great city, and I know we got great water. I think we should be advertising it, and even if, we just retrofit the ones we have, if we can't get parts, I don't know why they're not working. But for people to come to any of our events and see that they're not working, and it doesn't make us look good. Doesn't say, and we got great people on our water department. Doug, Dino, Troy, Frank, Jim, Dan, go down the list. All those guys are great guys that know their stuff, and I just don't know why they're not working. Maybe it's just not a priority, I don't know. And again, the reason I'm up here, I showed up for the water utility meeting to talk about this, 3 weeks ago, and I saw that the meeting was changed from City Hall up to the new building, which, we spent a lot of money on that. But I don't think, it would be that much of an expenditure to get the fountains working. And when I got to that meeting up there, it had been changed again up to the new building, and the door was locked, and I thought, well, there must not be a meeting. So I was going to turn around, and then I saw a doorbell, so I rang the doorbell, and I was like, well, maybe there's still a meeting, and Dave Preisel came to the door and opened the door, which was great. And I just said to him, Dave, there's got to be a open meeting. I mean, when Danny Darnold was down here, we would always have the doors open whenever it was a closed session or anything. It was made a big deal to make sure that that meeting was open. And I said to Dave, you got to keep these doors open. And I walked in, and the door closed behind me and locked. So I don't know if anyone else came up there and the door was locked. But then it came to closed session, and Jace took me around, showed me how much they spent on the new building, which was great. It was a nice tour that he gave me. I appreciate that. And I came back into the open session expecting to talk about this issue, these water fountains, and I was never given the opportunity to talk. So I was given a thank you and see you later, and that was that. So here I am talking to you about that. So if somebody would move that forward, I think the people of Hudson have a great asset to advertise to everyone, and we should be proud of our water. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Tim.
Again, and if anyone, and most people know where I live or who I am, anyone has any questions, please feel free to call me. I'm an open door and answer any questions about any of this or any other subject. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Any other comments? Any other comments? Seeing none, we will close that portion of the agenda. Discussion and possible action on consent agenda items.
To approve the regular meeting minutes of April 9th, 2018, and organizational meeting minutes of April 17th, 2018. To approve claims from April 9th, 2018 in the amount of $410,717.14, and from May 7th, 2018 in the amount of $913,327.57. Contingent on payment of any outstanding debt owed to the city and successful completion of the background check, to approve the issuance of 12 regular operator licenses that are on file with the city clerk's office for the period of May 8th, 2018 to June 30th, 2019, and to also approve 3 temporary operator licenses for the Phipps Visual Arts Council event on June 22nd to Melissa Olson, Amanda Bierbaum, and Roy Schoberg. To place on file the February 13th, 2018 Public Utility Commission meeting minutes. To approve a temporary Class B beer and wine license for the Phipps Center for the Arts Sister Arts Poetry Reading event on June 22nd, 2018. To approve the additional payment to SEH for unexpected additional costs related to the waterfront vision study. To place on file the building inspection quarterly report. To approve barricading Locust Street from 2nd Street east to the alley for the Locust Street Car Show on the 3rd Sunday of each month, May through October, from 1 to 5 p.m. To approve the 13th annual Ragnar Relay Race on August 17th through the 18th, August 17th and 18th, 2018. To approve the 2nd annual Doggity Fun Run Walk on May 12th, 2018, beginning at the Hudson Middle School and ending at the dog park. To approve an agreement with Giggle Factory for concessions operations at Lakefront Park per the terms of the agreement.
I'd like to pull that.
Pull. To approve the 2018 concession agreement with Hudson Softball Association for operations at Grandview Park. To place on file the first quarter financial report. To approve a 6-month Class B beer license to the Hudson Softball Association, LLC, to sell beer at Grandview Park concession stand for the license permit dates from May 8th, 2016 to November 8th, 2019. May 8th, 2018 to November 8th, 2019. And to approve a taxi cab license for Tip Top Taxi, LLC, for 1 vehicle listed on their application contingent upon receipt of insurance, background checks, and payment of any outstanding debt owed to the city. and to approve the fireworks paraphernalia sales permit for sales dates from June 15th to July 7th, 2018 to the following applicants: Menards, Mills Fleet Farm, Charles Walker, NT Fireworks for Target and Walmart.
Is it too late to pull F from that?
Well, F?
No?
No?
Go ahead.
No, you can pull F.
Okay, so we're pulling items F and H. Anything else on this? Roll call?
You need a
I'll
motion
move
first?
to
Oh, I'm sorry, the motion, yeah, that's right.
Move to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Got a motion second to approve the consent agenda item, or items other than F and H. Roll call.
Morissette.
Yes.
Alms.
Yes.
DeZiel.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Hall.
Yes.
Motion's approved.
So we've got
Go back
Wagner.
to F. Start with
Wagner.
F.
Just a couple of questions for Mike on F.
Is that the SEH one?
This is the SA.
There's
Oh,
a different order
there's-
on the agenda than they are on the,
And
Gotcha.
there's, yeah, that's okay. This is the
I'm
F,
sorry.
so
not
you're.
the SEH item, correct?
SEH item, okay.
SCH. Is that okay to start asking? Okay.
Yeah, go.
So they're saying their total expenses was $3769.44?
Correct. Eric, you're here too. Yes. Eric with SCH is here too. And
Oh,
he can,
perfect.
Yep.
But did that include the DNR meeting in Eau Claire?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, it did.
And that was part of our vision study, that DNR meeting?
Correct,
I just wanted
yep.
to clarify that.
Yep.
Okay. I guess it was a snowstorm. I guess my perception is, could we share that cost more half and half, more 50-50 with SEH?
Well, I guess, it was because of the snowstorm. Obviously, the council meeting was canceled, and Ed and Alex were already en route. That DNR meeting that they attended was supposed to be the whole regulatory committee meeting, which involves like 6 different agencies. Because of the snowstorm, that got canceled as well. I still met with the DNR, but not all the agencies, and so they met with the agencies again when they came back up that following meeting that they presented at the council. So I guess, we're very conscious of any time that we have to do this,
Right.
have to request additional money. I mean, it's not fun to ask, to be honest.
Right.
But, and we try to figure out a way to make it as least burdensome as we can. As you saw in that breakdown, Ed only charged 8 of his 12 hours that day. We have to expect to pay them back for mileage and stuff like that. But, I feel like we've done, that's what it cost. Certainly it's your decision to pay what you want. But we're going to request the 27 out of the roughly 37.
Gotcha. Just curious, how you arrived at that number?
We looked at exactly what it did cost, the 37, and then looked at ways that we could, what was not a value, or what could we scale back.
Sure.
And Ed volunteered 4 hours. I volunteered my hours of coordination of it. We felt like Alex, that we couldn't ask him to give up time. He's on a different, career-wise, it's just a little bit different with what his work is. So we felt like we couldn't ask him to give up any time. And then we rounded down to the 27. So we actually probably spent more time trying to figure out where this bill should be than we should have as well. But
Gotcha.
knew that this was going to be questioned, and rightfully so. But we want to get it right too.
Gotcha.
Anybody else?
I'll move we approve, otherwise we will sit here.
Second.
You got a motion and second to approve. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Thanks. Then the item H.
Jim, what was the other? Was
The Giggle Factory.
Giggle
Giggle
Factory.
Factory?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's K, actually.
The Giggle Factory is what I was asking about.
Yep, that's fine.
Okay, reading the maintenance and operation portion of that, I've got a couple questions. The first one is, it requires 21 and older, a person 21 and older to be there. And I recognize as I get older, it's harder for me to identify who's 21, but I'm questioning whether that's happening. I really sincerely question that there are not 21-year-olds, a 21-year-old person there every time I've been there. The second thing is adequate supplies, and I don't know, that's kind of thought it was kind of Leslie agrees to keep on hand at all times a sufficient supply of all merchandise to adequately serve the public. I've been there a number of times when they virtually didn't have anything. They had a candy bar or two. It was, so it's kind of shoestringy operation going on right there. The third thing is we require them to pick up rubbish, but what happens down in that area is that the tables get dirty, the cement is dirty. Something needs to happen there in terms of keeping that area clean. And I don't know what our responsibility is around that, but I think they have some responsibility as well. So we need to look at that piece. I'm concerned about how well they're taking care of that place. That said, I guess I think we need to have a conversation with the management of the Giggle Factory and say that they're going to have to live up to this agreement.
Can Tom address some of the upkeep issues with you?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
If you have a solution or not?
I did hear, sorry if I didn't hear it all correctly, I did hear that part of the agreement is for them to, pick up the area, and they've done that. As far as pressure washing and, the concrete and area, the Public Works staff does that.
Okay.
They're not, they wouldn't have the means or the equipment to pressure wash the cement, but that's normally done by Public Works on a regular basis. It gets used, that's for sure. There's pop and candy and things like that, and it probably does get sticky, but that area is cleaned every day in the morning. Maybe there's, better ways to, to have our staff come back after. Sometimes we do have a second shift come back, depending on the availability of our staff also. We have 12, 13 parks, and, we do a general cleanup in the morning and generally the next morning. But on weekends, we try to have a second shift to do some maintenance and cleanups.
Good.
But that is their responsibility, and for them to go around and pick up some litter around their general area. As far as staffing...
I haven't noticed that as an issue.
I'm sorry?
I haven't noticed that rubbish around as an issue.
Yeah, I think they actually have helped some.
Yeah.
And in the finance meeting, we talked a little bit about just having the extra, we have struggled to get people to be, down there. I mean, last year, Brenda did get some averages for the two concession stands. It was an average, a 5-year average, 2-year average. Lakefront made $345. Grandview made $312. These people aren't getting rich down there. And it actually helps us by having someone there. I mean, there was a time when we had to put a new facade on that building. They were ripping the shingles off. We put different siding on that building. It's unfortunate, like Tim Caruso said, and he's wondering what happened to the water fountains. They just get vandalized. They get full of sand. They get pushed over, and like he said, they're $3,000. Public Works can't replace them all the time. We've replaced a few of them. I think there's still one functional up at Prospect Park and down in the south end of lakefront. But, yeah, vandalism is serious. I mean, it's very big for us, and I think it's nice to have them there. Are they perfect? No, but for, the little money they make down there, I think we should consider them. I will try to follow up on, generally Pete is down there most of the time, either him or his wife are down there. I know they're, to cover the age thing, but there may be times where it's some high school kids, we'll try to, talk to them about that.
Tom, for next year, I think we should go out for bid, because either we should do it right or not do it at all to a point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a rinky-dink operation, it looks like it, maybe that's just for next year.
Yeah.
See what we can get.
Absolutely.
If it's not out there, then we'll do it again.
I do, I'd like to say for sure, but I'm very confident that we normally offer to the people that have had it the last year if they care to do it. We give them that courtesy if they've been there and they've done okay, that we'll offer the people that have had it in the past first.
I think what Randy's saying, maybe I'm going to read this into what you said, is we need to upgrade that operation.
Well, yeah, because I have Lake Calhoun, or whatever they call that now, that concession stand. And that's what I have in my mind. If we're going to do it, let's do it right. Offer the stuff and make sure it's professionally done.
And there's a lot of options. I mean, we get people all the time, vendors that want to rent paddle boards and suntan lotion and sunglasses and things like that. It depends on if you want to get into all of that. You need a lot of permits and things like that, but it's all possible. And I think even part of the vision plan talks about renovating the Buckeye Garage and having a lot more activities down there.
And it might be part of that whole study too.
Right.
Upgrading the...
Tom, overall, you're satisfied with what they do?
I think it's a work in progress. I think it's something we have to work with them on. There's times when we have to have a chat with them. But I think it's doable. I think at the 11th hour, I don't know if we're going to get anyone at this time, like Joyce mentioned.
Yeah, no, my point of raising these is that we need to bring some attention to the requirements of the contract.
Absolutely. I'd be glad to visit with them.
Yeah.
Well, try to get at least the topics that you discussed brought up.
What I would suggest, and obviously with the money that you're talking about, as well as some of the inherent problems over there, as you mentioned, with the water level and the number of days that they're closed, it's difficult, I would imagine, to keep that, especially when you're trying to keep that up and running on a regular basis, especially when you're trying to schedule people in there and, they're at the mercy of the level of the water.
And the weather. I mean, you could have a couple rain days or it gets cold and there's just no one down there.
And normally when you have something like that, if people think that it is a cash cow, they're going to be coming in asking to do a bid on it. But I would love to have a conversation with them to explore some of those other options to make it, I don't know that I want to say classy, because it sounds as though they're not classy.
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
But I think to make it a first-rate operation, to take advantage of our resource, I think to have, I came from over on the east side, and we had canoe rentals over there in the concession stand area and paddle boards and things like that. I think that's a great idea, and I think we ought to be having those conversations with them and try to explore that to see if it's an option for them. So rather than waiting for the contract to come up again, I think maybe while they're servicing the area down there this summer, maybe we ought to be talking to them and going down there and exploring some of the other options that might be available.
Absolutely. I think the lakefront has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
They're just waiting for us to do something, I think.
Well said. All right.
To approve.
Second?
Got a motion second to approve. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion's approved. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Kim Benowitz, and with a presentation, a little discussion about, come on up, identify yourself here, Kim, and your address, and tell us about what you have envisioned for Hudson.
Hello, can you hear me? My name is Kim Benowitz, and I live at 900 Willow Ridge 1 in the town of Hudson. And my family and I are trying to launch Hudson Trolley Company, and I'm here to ask for your support in helping us do that. With all the fun things going on in Hudson these days, and with the minor league baseball team coming and Mayo Clinic, there's going to be more visitors, day trippers coming into Hudson, and we think this would be just a really great experience to add to it. It would be a sightseeing tour company with scenic tours, historic tours, private tours, things of that nature. And just let me tell you a little bit about how the idea came about. My family and I, when we travel to different cities or towns, we always take a tour. We love to get the lay of the land. We love to get the local tips. We love to kind of get the inside scoop. So I'm the director at the St. Croix County Historical Society, and we do many, many tours. And many times after our tours, people ask us, what other tours are in town? Is there anything else? And up until last year, well, now with the, Hudson has the food walk, we didn't have any other tours. So I was constantly sending them over to Stillwater Trolley Company. After many years of doing that, it was like, we could be doing it ourselves. We have so much to offer, just the scenery and the history and all the cool and interesting sites we have here. So that's kind of how our vision started. And as I mentioned, I'm just here to ask for your support and address any concerns or issues that you have. I know a trolley's a little bit different animal, and it's it's a fun way of touring. It gives a very different vibe than just getting on a bus. It's fun, it's happy, it's open air, it's just smaller, and people really engage with each other, and it's just a great social event and a great way to get people to learn about our city. I know you think that, maybe it'll clog up 2nd Street or something like that. No, anybody can drive down 2nd Street and kind of see what's going on in Hudson. Our view is to show them the hidden sites of Hudson that you wouldn't know about unless you came and toured with us. Going down Rustic Road, what is that all about? Going to Burkmost Park, we all been to Burkmost Park, but do you really know what the history is behind it? And we want to conduct a tour in a lively manner that would be fun and educational, things of that nature. So that's all I have to say. And if there's any questions or concerns, I can take them now.
My biggest thing is that I didn't see any insurance requirements. I support the idea.
Thank you.
But I don't see any what you're thinking insurance, and that's something we would obviously.
Well, the deal is you're a over 16 passenger vehicle.
Correct.
Right. So they are regulated by the Wisconsin Department of Transportation. They have to provide, and maybe you can explain it more, insurance.
Yeah. I have learned a
and
great deal about this.
I bet you that was fun.
I have my CDL, I have my commercial driver's license. Yes, I can drive a truck, a semi, I can do all these things. It is highly regulated. When you go over 16 passengers, you are correct. You are mandated by the state of Wisconsin. You are mandated by the DOT, Department of Transportation. Your insurance requirements are high. We have to carry $5 million in liability for one trolley. So for 7 additional people, it's a whole different ball game versus just the 16 passenger. And so each year your vehicle needs to be inspected, your licenses need to be updated, your medical needs to be updated. They are on you. They don't take any chances in any passengers getting hurt. You need 2 years of commercial driving experience with passengers. So we have to hire a bus driver that has those credentials, that has transported passengers and people for over 5 years.
Okay.
So, yeah, the state's really involved in that part.
I just didn't see any detail in the plan.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
Anybody else? Would there be a stop at Randy's house?
Yeah.
Sure. Well, private events, yes.
House was built in 51. Come on over. It's historic.
Kim, do you have a sense of like what it would be for a charge for somebody to go on one of the tours?
Yeah, right now we're looking at about $15 per person, per adult, and that's in line with Stillwater Trolley Company, and they are about an hour tour. And what we think is so great is a lot of times when you go somewhere, you know, you don't have the right equipment. Oh, I don't have my bathing suit, or I can't, you know, I didn't bring my winter coat or my snowboard or whatever. This is something that you don't have to have a whole plan for it. You can make a reservation, jump on the trolley, and have a great experience. So yeah, it's, you know, we hope that that would encourage more riders, that there's not a whole lot of planning and prep work.
And is there a season? Does it run at a certain spring to fall type thing, or?
Right now, we're looking at doing it seasonally as an opener to see, you know, before it takes off. But down the road, we would like to run it full year, or at least a little bit, you know, do some Christmas tours, maybe do date night, Valentine's Day, you know, get people out of the house a little bit more in the winter. But the heavy season would be summer and fall.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask the question, as you're well probably aware of our parking issues downtown. Where are we going to park these people? And you said a 90-minute tour, is that correct?
45 to 60-minute tour.
Okay, so we're tying up parking spots for a full trolley of what, 25 passengers?
It's a 23-passenger. One seat's kind of a jump seat that nobody rightly should sit in, and the other one is the driver. But yes, our pickup and our drop-off would be at the Octagon House, because it's kind of that same market of people, and typically people come in at least twos, so you're looking at 12 spaces. And we have talked to the church next door, Bethel Lutheran, who I am a member of, and they're happy to have us park 12 vehicles there to run a cute little trolley down the historic neighborhoods. So yeah,
That's great.
We wouldn't be clogging up any, like I said, main streets. Of course, we want to drive down 2nd Street,
Sure.
but no stops or anything like that. Just point things out so when people do get off the trolley, they can take their own vehicles and go back to whatever was of interest to them.
But potentially there could be 23 cars, and you're saying if they all drove one car, you know, potentially.
Potentially, yes, there could be 23 vehicles.
You think all of them would park in the church parking lot? Or are you going to advertise it that way?
Yes. You know, we have to work out, because we won't be operating when church is on. We will be operating outside of their hours. And there is, you know, ample street parking there too, because that's where the people park who come to the Octagon House as well.
Have you talked to the neighborhood up there?
No, we have not.
Because I think this might be a conversation that has to go to public safety for parking questions. Just,
sure,
you know, to address these issues.
Sure.
And, because on 4th of July, there's no place to park. That's the parade lineup route.
Because we're going to be in the parade. So we hope we're
There's no
lined
place
up.
to pick it. For example.
Yes,
you know, so,
yes.
Okay.
Are you meeting this week, Randy?
Huh?
Are you meeting this week?
Thursday.
Yeah.
Public safety.
Thursday.
So,
It
I
is.
mean, if it's.
If
are
you
ready
want.
Got
for
it?
Thursday?
I'm sorry, what was the?
Well, public safety is meeting Thursday at 5 this week.
Oh, sure.
So
sure.
that I'll get a hold of Melanie in the morning and ask her to put it on.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Mm-hmm. And just to let you know, this would be a couple tours a week. This isn't just a bus running all the time. Right now, we would do it Saturdays and Sundays, 2 tours a day for an hour each. So we're looking at 4 hours on a weekend. It's not a big commitment at this time.
So we'd have time as you ramp up the business to address issues that come up.
And, you know, we have big dreams, and maybe sometime we would have a site of our own that we could run it from a different facility, and
You have a target start date?
we missed it. It was supposed to be Saturday, May 5th. We do have a couple more hurdles other than this to get through, like I said, with the insurance and things like that, but we're just taking it one step at a time.
So other than parking issues, Randy, any other concerns that you guys have in terms of any, right now, we don't have ordinances that address trolleys. That's part of the issue sheet that we talked about. So if there's any other concerns.
We can talk about, do you think there needs to be an ordinance in relation to that?
Yes and no, because obviously DOT, covers everything. It sounds like that the city would cover, so I wouldn't see any need to double up on that. And just as I hear about it, this isn't, it's somewhat different from a taxi in that people go on their website or whatever it is and choose to go on a trolley ride. They're not just getting in a taxi looking for a ride. So I would imagine you'll advertise that you're, regulated and approved by DOT. My only concern is that the city has no way may want to have a system of just registration whereby they come in and say, here's our annual license or permit provided by, issued by DOT to run this operation. Because other than that, the city would have no way of making sure that they are in fact licensed by DOT.
Well, then we probably should, because then at some point, we're liable if something happens on our street, God forbid.
I don't know.
But are we?
I don't know about
discussion that
that.
we were having earlier today, just while we're sitting around talking, Jen and Kathy and I, is that this would not be operated well or licensed here in the city. It's from the town of Hudson. That's where the Benowitz live. All right. We've got things like this going on in the city right now, and nobody's ever said anything about them.
Right.
It's just that they don't necessarily originate here, okay? But some of them do. Our tour of homes absolutely does, right? With a tour bus that is located somewhere outside the city. So these things are already taking place in the city. This is the first time that we've got somebody that actually came in and said, hey, this is what we're doing in the city.
Please help.
Yeah, and that's why I go back and forth. It's not an easy answer. I think it's wise to check on parking and routes maybe, depending on how busy they get, but
Right, I
yeah,
do
you've
know
got
that.
party buses, all those kinds of things going on, and we don't regulate.
And we wouldn't know.
I do know that other trolley companies in the state are not under any city regulation. It is all under the state, if that makes a difference.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, well, let's talk it out at public safety and hopefully we can come up. I support it. I mean, it just, I'm thinking out loud and you just happen to be there.
Right, no, I appreciate it.
That meeting's Thursday at 5 o'clock.
Right
Right,
here?
Randy? Here.
Yeah.
In this
Do I
room.
have to come up to this podium again?
Yep.
You did fine, though.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kim.
Thanks.
All right, discussion of possible action on application for conditional use permit for 708 offices, 708 Second Street, Freeze Properties LLC.
Yes, thank you. Freeze Property, this was, the property was rezoned to B4. It was actually the impetus for the establishment of the B4 zoning district that I think we're all pretty familiar with at this point. So as part of that, all uses are provided for via a conditional use permit review and approval. So the Plan Commission at their last meeting held a public hearing on the conditional use permit, as well as recommended approval of this three-story mixed office use building for Saranda, who operates the organic food We're very familiar with it, yeah. So, I mean, there's a couple issues that we worked through in terms of parking. The existing conditional use permit for the other building there regulates parking to the west side of 3rd Street, or to the west side of 3rd Street, no further north of Mr. Freeze's property line. And then the other conditions listed in the staff report. So the only other thing to note is that the final development plans will be considered at the next meeting. There's a few items remaining that we have to work through, involving some retaining walls and some access and temporary easements. So with that, Plan Commission recommends approval, and as does staff.
I'll move we approve.
Second.
With the conditions?
Yes, with the
in the
conditions.
issue sheet.
Yep.
Second.
Got a motion and a second for approval. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Thanks, Mike. Discussion and possible action on election of council president. So obviously with John's passing, we have a vacancy here.
I nominate Randy.
Okay, we have a nomination, Randy Morissette. Any further nominations?
I'd like to nominate Joyce Hall.
Nomination of Joyce Hall. Any further nominations? Any further nominations? Any further nominations? Hearing none, nominations are closed. How do we?
They can either do it by show of hands, they can use paper, I have paper. It takes 4 votes, just so everybody's aware.
Just paper. We've done paper all in the past.
Well, even if you do paper, it's still a public.
Still public.
So, show of hand, it doesn't, whatever you want to do, I don't care. Want paper? Get 2 months, Joyce's.
Just write your name. Just write the name who you want. Mhm. Yep. Just pass it down.
Three for Joyce, 2 for Randy. And we need 4.
Okay.
Even though there's an empty seat, we still need 4.
Or
So,
is this
round
what
2?
you think is suspended
Or you can
rules?
suspend the rules with 4 votes. And you need 4 votes.
Yeah.
You could suspend the rules and just make it a majority vote,
Mhm.
but that also requires 4 votes.
Suspend the rules.
I'll move to suspend the rules.
Okay, made a motion to
Okay.
Presentations.
Okay, we have a motion to suspend the rules. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second to suspend the
You'd
rules.
be suspending the rule that it requires 4 votes.
Requires you, yeah.
Roll call. Takes 4 votes to suspend the rules. Roll call.
Morissette,
No.
Alms,
No.
Zeal,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
All.
Yes.
Okay, so last time this happened, we went, we adjourned the meeting, and we went into the following meeting and held an election then. Bill?
Could we have each nominee sort of pitch, give like a minute pitch about what they would bring to the table for president?
I imagine we could. Do you think that's going to change anything?
Good point.
Joyce, you have anything compelling to say that's going to change Bill and Randy's vote? Or Randy, do you have anything compelling to say that's...
The other thing that happened the last time was we only had 5 people here, and then the next meeting, we had 6 people.
That's a good point.
So,
Could
and
wait
You're not,
You wait
well,
till-
depending on the next item, you're
Yeah.
not potentially going to have a 6th person for a little bit.
I will ask for suggestions. How do you want to proceed? Obviously, we could go another round. We could try again. We could put a limit on the number of rounds that we do tonight. We could just move into the next meeting and do it then, or we could wait until the seat is filled and do it then. But I guess we should at least give it a try. I don't think the seat is going to be filled before the next meeting. There's no way it would be filled. What's your pleasure? Okay.
I suggest we wait until the seat is filled, unless we have, is there any pressing issues where we?
Well, the council president, really, the main responsibility would be to chair the meeting in the absence of the mayor. If for some reason Rich was unable to attend the meeting before that happened, we'd have to do what we were going to do the last meeting that we canceled. You would just, for that meeting, select a chair. And
I don't.
Well, the other thing is if Rich is out of town.
Right. The council president could sign
for signing documents.
I would, I don't know how long it's going to take us to, obviously that's the next discussion, the process for filling the seat. I don't see any reason at this point to wait. You know, I mean, we could give it a try again at the next meeting. If you don't want to try it the second round or third round here, right now, we could always try it in the next meeting. But I would think we should at least give it a try at the next meeting, at the very least.
Or Joyce, you want to flip a coin?
or put both your names in a thing and have.
Flip a coin, heads or tails. I'll be okay with the outcome. I don't.
We'd still have to have the 4 votes, wouldn't we?
Well, the council should approve the procedure, but you can, it's your procedure, so.
You would need, yes, you would still need 4 votes to approve a claim.
Can you make a motion? You have to make a motion.
Okay.
So if someone wants to make a motion to.
I'll move to flip a coin.
I'll second.
Okay, motion is second to flip a coin.
Who has a coin?
Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved with 5 votes.
You want to have Scott or someone flip it?
Yeah.
Scott?
They have a coin?
Decided to go. No, we need a coin, obviously, but Rich has a coin.
I carry change just for things like this.
I have a quarter.
There you go.
So who's going to call it?
Yeah, call it.
Who wants to call it?
Well, I think seniority should have
There you go. Randy, you call it.
heads.
That's when we do it on the carpet?
Yep.
Tails it is.
Tails, you said? Yes.
All right, so Joyce is president of the council. Congratulations, Joyce. Thank you, Scott.
Aren't you glad you came?
No building for you.
All right, which brings us to the next piece then. Let's have a discussion about how we fill the vacant seats.
So I laid it out. This is the same process when Mary Yakub resigned. Your options are either appointing someone, which takes 4 votes, or you can have a special election, which is what they ended up deciding doing last time, and Bill was actually elected in that. Traditionally, when we've had openings, we've asked individuals interested, we've given them a few weeks. They've submitted a letter of interest explaining why they'd like to be a council member, and then they come to whatever meeting you decide. And we had last time, I think we had 3 questions that we gave them to them ahead of time, and they answered the 3 questions, and last time we just didn't have any success. So I think we had 5 or 6 last time, and we weren't able to come to a consensus. But it's up to you how do you want to run the process, but that's what we've done in the past.
Well, I'm in favor of appointing like we've done in the past. I don't want to wait for another
Yeah,
election.
it's a November, the
That's
election would
statutory.
be November.
Right.
Yeah.
Has the question been put to Sarah? I know it's probably a sensitive topic.
The what now?
Has the question been put to Sarah if she was interested in filling that
Nothing has
position?
been put to anybody. You
No,
guys
it's
have to decide a
yours.
process.
I think it would make sense to take applications or people interested.
So, and is that time frame, or do you want a little bit more time? than what I had proposed.
I think we should be doing it as quickly as possible.
So then you'd be able to do it at the June 4th meeting, at the beginning of the meeting, and that'd be great. So I will get notice to the newspaper. Should I email Rebecca tomorrow morning first thing? Okay. And have her put some, I'll write something up for her to put in the paper, and I'll put it on the website. Feel free to.
So at the June 4th meeting? you
Right,
said?
so I'll have them due back to City Hall by that Thursday, so that we have time to process them and get the agenda done then. And you'll have copies of whatever they submit.
Would we have them here to answer questions?
Yes, they would, and they would be notified of that in the notice, that they would have to attend the meeting at 7 o'clock on the 4th.
And then
Answer the whatever 3 or 4 questions, and I'll find them. We've used those the last 2 or 3 times we've had openings. And then after they do that, then the council will then attempt to come up with a candidate to get 4
Are we
votes.
going to allow additional questions from the council?
Yes, you
members
can.
then?
Yep.
And so you want to vote that night then, too?
That's up to you. And then normally we see them right away at that meeting. Or we have in the past.
Do we need a motion?
Just to approve the process.
Yeah. Motion to
To
approve the
appoint
process.
and approve the
Motion to-
process in the issue sheet.
Motion to approve
Process, it was just described.
process.
And
that was
appoint
just
council.
And
described.
appoint
Thank you.
councilman, appoint someone rather than the special.
And appoint somebody instead of special election.
Well, I would.
Or-
We don't know about the special-
We don't know that
I wouldn't
yet.
go that far. If you
Right.
can't come to an agreement, then.
Well,
Right.
that's
It has
where
to go
we're
through.
This is what happened last time. All right, so everything's shy of that.
Yes.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
And I think, if I remember correctly, we have to have that decision made by a date in July, end of July. Because the last time we did it, I think we did 3 meetings, and I think we had a special meeting to call the election.
Oh,
'Cause there's
to
a-
meet the notice.
there's a
Oh.
notice,
Processes
right.
that need to
So
be
anyway,
done.
so hopefully it won't take 3 or 4 meetings to get it resolved.
Okay, everybody good? Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. All right, I don't have anything.
As I mentioned, the Finance Committee, we do have a new accountant that started today. Her name is also Kathy Edwards. We're replacing Kathy Hudson, who is retiring at the end of the month. So if anything financial comes through, it'll be coming from Kay Edwards instead of Kay Hudson, but
Can we add the water fountains?
I got that written down.
And the closed-door meetings with the utility?
Yeah, there was, I'll have.
That has, add that to your agenda, absolutely, if that's what you want to do.
Or should I ask for an explanation?
I did get involved in that with Kip, because Tim had sent emails out, and Kip had said that he wasn't, they were having problems with the security in the doors because they locked automatically. All right, and new building, and I think that he understood the issue, and he said he was going to work to resolve it. So,
Yeah, we're meeting tomorrow night.
Mr. Mayor, I kind of germane to the subject. I'm officing up there now, and they've been having issues with locks because it's automatically set. It's a different system. I'm not speaking for Kip, but I know I ran into the same things after hours. It was just automatically locking because it's computerized. It's not a keyed system. I'm guessing that's probably what happened at that meeting is automatically shut down because I ran into the same things. I believe it's been cleared up now where they can set it, so.
It took us forever to get them on video. They should be continuing.
Well, it's nice to know you got a new office.
And I'm not sure, is that set up for video, Joyce, up there?
They did not videotape the last meeting, but it's possible that it can be videotaped.
I'll follow up with
but
Nate on that to make
yeah.
sure that, otherwise they maybe have to meet here.
Put it on our agenda for.
It would be difficult to have it broadcast live from there, but they can videotape it there.
So you tell which agenda, the next council agenda? Or
Council.
Just as an update?
Yeah.
Okay. And that the door, and the resolution of the door issue, just make sure. I'll get a hold of Kip and have him put together something. Okay.
Yeah, I have a concern with the Public Works Committee. Without a chair, I don't know a procedure of how we can have a meeting.
You can have a meeting and just select a temporary chair at the meeting.
Who calls the meeting? Who calls that meeting?
Don't you have a regular
John is the chair.
date?
Right, the meeting, it could be, Tom could call the meeting. I mean, Tom's name could be on the agenda, I assume.
Oh, public, yeah.
Right. But then at the actual meeting, you could just select
Yeah.
someone to run the meeting
Yeah, okay.
until that gets filled.
Okay, anybody else?
Move to adjourn?
Second?
Got a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Stand adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
I'll copy you into that.